Well, Frank, hey.
Okay, back from the bye, looking forward to getting to work. Getting ready for Houston, another good opponent. Looking forward to the guy. Good to see the guys back in here. Everybody feels like focused and ready to go to work. So we'll just open it up from there.
This is the first. Well, this is the last week of Austin Corbett's eligibility to return. Will he be activated this week before Wednesday?
Yeah, he's had a good week last week. Made really good progress. We'll kind of see. We'll make those decisions as the week unfolds. See how he does in practice. But he's been making good progress.
Frank, you talked a lot before going into the bye week about sample sizes, self-scouting, and a lot of those things. So through the bye week, where would you say you found the greatest way to move the team forward? Was it more schematically or execution? Where would you put that?
Yeah, no, good point, because we have had enough, 6 games. I start to think at about 6 games, you got a good sample size, both from, looking at your next opponent and also what we do. So, and then typically at these points, it's more just a matter of small incremental changes at multiple places rather than one big change. So that's really what we were looking at. What tendencies do we have scheme-wise? What have we had more success at versus less success? The stuff that we've been good at, is it a question of doing more than that, more of that? The schemes that maybe we haven't been as successful at, why haven't we been, evaluating the why behind those? Not just looking at the numbers, going back, having the extra time to go back, study that film on those and say, these schemes are still good. We just need to execute a little bit better here or there. So, and we're really in all 3 phases, small incremental changes.
You guys have put the playbook together, not put it together, but gone through it with what you want to do with Thomas calling the plays moving forward. Anything y'all that stood out that y'all saw that you want to change or make any adjustments there?
No, we've had, Thomas and I had another good discussion this morning, just about the transition and about philosophy and, our approach this week and in general. With every day, I feel better. I feel great about it. So Thomas is ready. It'll be an organic thing. There's still going to be a lot of collaboration. Thomas is going to be in charge. It's not going to be micromanaged. The staff will contribute like they do, but Thomas will be, his personality, his decision-making will be based on, will be the play-by-play decisions. What we do as a game planning process, that will still stay the same as it's been.
Frank, did Bryce spend a lot of time here during the bye week, or did you kind of want him to get away?
I don't know. Obviously, we intentionally, fair question, we intentionally kept the players here through Wednesday at noon and kind of, I don't want to say forced that hand, but I just felt like that was a good time. Like when I reflect back on that time, I already feel like that was the right thing to do. At the moment, it was like sometimes you can let the guys go for the whole week, but I felt like that was the right decision and gave us a chance to work through some stuff and players a chance to do a little bit extra work, and I know Bryce took advantage of that as well.
Frank, where are you at with your running back depth chart as far as Miles' injury? And we obviously saw Chuba play well last week.
Yeah, Chuba's look good. Obviously, we love Miles. So, no, Miles has continued to make good progress. We'll get into this week a little bit. It's always going to be a little bit by committee. That's typically our approach. So the actual mix, that could vary week to week. We'll see how things play out this week, though.
Do you have any updates, Frank, on JC, Xavier, all those guys? You expecting anyone back Wednesday?
Probably, Joe, at this point, I'd probably just rather make the general thing. Let me wait till Wednesday, for a couple reasons. A, competitive reasons, B, just general. I actually haven't even had our medical meeting yet today. I have it later. I have talked with Kevin earlier today about a couple of the guys. I am encouraged at the progress that everybody's making, but I just think it'll be better for us to kind of give you a little bit more information on Wednesday.
In your experience, having gone through this before, the last week before the trade deadline, how much does the recency bias of that week before the trade deadline play into how a deal is done, what you consider for an offer, et cetera?
I don't think it plays in as much as, some people think it may or may not. I think if there's as I've looked at it over the years, and I really haven't been on that many places that there's been a whole lot of activity, to be honest with you. So I think if a team is making a decision to move a certain way, it's based off of a lot of information. Very little about that is just won the last week or so.
Frank, you mentioned before that you want your quarterback to be the toughest guy on the team. When you look at the first 6 weeks with Bryce, where have you seen examples of that and examples of his ability to lead a team through a tough start?
There's zero question in my mind about Bryce Young's toughness. I didn't question it in the draft process just because of the way he handled himself in his college career. But I can just tell you this, 6 games into it, physical and mental toughness, he checks that box big time. And, and I just think that's going to continue to grow and demonstrate itself. I mean, I'm sure he's never experienced anything like an 0-6 start. But the way he's handled that, the resolve and the determination you can see in his eyes and you can feel in his demeanor is the way that you would expect someone with his toughness and his competitiveness to handle it.
Frank, at what point during the pre-draft process did Bryce, in your mind, separate himself from Stroud? And has anything happened since to say, hey, that gap could be tighter now?
I'm, as you would expect, I'm not going to comment about, I'm more than happy to talk about our quarterback. I thought the whole quarterback draft class was a really good class. I really enjoyed diving into each one of them. I thought they all were good players. If you looked at my scorecard on all of them, I thought they were all good players. We just thought Bryce was the best. I thought Bryce was the best, not taking anything away from anybody else. So we're excited to have him. I really don't want to. We talked a lot back then about what we liked about Bryce and why we chose Bryce. And so I'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.